The life of Adolf Hitler is a deeply impactful and controversial topic, one that involves complex historical events and profound consequences. Here's an overview of Hitler's life, but please note that due to the sensitive nature of the subject, this summary will be presented in a factual and respectful manner. The life and times of Adolf Hitler. Early life and influences, birth and childhood, 1889 to 1903. Born on April 20th, 1889, in Braunau am Inn, Austria-Hungary, modern-day Austria, Adolf Hitler grew up in a family marked by strife and instability. His father, Alois Hitler, was a domineering and often harsh figure. His mother, Klara, was more nurturing. As a child, Adolf showed a keen interest in art, but after failing to gain admission to the Academy of Fine Arts in Vienna, his life took a different trajectory. From 1903 to 1907, Adolf faced personal struggles and poverty in Vienna, experiencing feelings of rejection, isolation, and developing his extreme nationalist views. World War I, 1914 to 1918. In 1914, Hitler enlisted in the Bavarian Reserve Infantry, serving as a soldier during World War I. He was wounded twice and received the Iron Cross for bravery. The war's end in 1918, marked by Germany's defeat, left Hitler disillusioned and bitter. He blamed the Treaty of Versailles and the perceived stab in the back by Jews and Marxists for Germany's loss. Rise to power. Joining the German Workers' Party, 1919 to 1920. After the war, Hitler joined the German Workers' Party, DAP, a nationalist and anti-Semitic group, in 1919. By 1920, he became one of its leading members. The party's name was changed to the National Socialist German Workers' Party, NSDAP, also known as the Nazi Party. Hitler's oratory skills and propaganda talents quickly garnered attention. The Beer Hall Putsch, 1923. In 1923, Hitler attempted a coup, known as the Beer Hall Putsch, to overthrow the Weimar government. The coup failed, and Hitler was arrested and sentenced to prison. During his prison time, he wrote Mein Kampf, a manifesto outlining his ideology of Aryan supremacy, anti-Semitism, and his vision for Germany's future. The Great Depression and Political Growth, 1929 to 1933. The global economic downturn during the Great Depression, 1929, allowed Hitler and the Nazi Party to gain significant traction. Many Germans were dissatisfied with the Weimar Republic and sought a leader who could restore national pride and power. In 1933, after a series of political maneuvers and alliances, Hitler was appointed Chancellor of Germany by President Paul von Hindenburg. Totalitarian rule and World War II, consolidation of power, 1933 to 1934. After being appointed Chancellor, Hitler quickly moved to consolidate his power. The Reichstag fire in February 1933 allowed him to push through the Reichstag fire decree, which curtailed civil liberties. In 1934, after the death of President Hindenburg, Hitler merged the presidency and chancellorship, becoming the Führer of Germany. The Nazi regime began implementing policies of aggressive nationalism, anti-Semitism, and militarization. Expansion and the start of World War II, 1938 to 1939. Hitler's expansionist policies led to the annexation of Austria, Anschluss, in 1938, and the dismemberment of Czechoslovakia. The invasion of Poland on September 1st, 1939, triggered World War II. Hitler's vision for a greater Germany, built upon conquest and subjugation, led to the invasion of numerous European countries. The Holocaust and war atrocities, 1941 to 1945. One of Hitler's most horrific policies was the systematic extermination of 6 million Jews, along with millions of other undesirables, including Romani people, disabled individuals, and political opponents. This became known as the Holocaust. As the war progressed, Hitler's leadership became more erratic, and Germany's military fortunes deteriorated. The Allied forces began pushing German forces back on both the eastern and western fronts. The downfall, 1944 to 1945. In 1944, an attempt was made on Hitler's life by a group of German officers who sought to end the war and negotiate peace with the Allies. As the Allies closed in on Berlin, Hitler became increasingly isolated. On April 30th, 1945, with Soviet forces encircling Berlin, Hitler committed suicide in his bunker beneath the Reich Chancellery. Legacy and consequences. The aftermath of Hitler's actions was devastating. The war led to the deaths of over 70 million people, including civilians and soldiers. The Holocaust remains one of the darkest chapters in human history, and the war's destruction reshaped the world order, leading to the division of Germany and the beginning of the Cold War. Hitler's ideology of racial purity and authoritarian rule continues to be studied, but also condemned as a symbol of hatred and tyranny.